Hey guys, sorry it's been so long, but glad you're joining us for our Spider-Man spoiler-filled review. Coming up. That was so stupid.
Rapid fire.
I was doing the fucking guns. I don't know what the fuck that was. Alright guys, in case you are new to this channel, what we like to do is we like to go over all the goodies, all the negatives, and then we give our final rating at the end. And just so you guys know, if you guys can't tell by the title, this is going to be a spoiler-filled review, so if you haven't seen it, add this to your favorites, come back to it whenever you have seen it. With that said, let's get this out of the way. I just barely saw the movie. Leo, you've seen it twice. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. This movie is goddamn near the best Spider-Man I've ever seen in my life.
I agree. It's I'm still thinking of ways where they've perfected from the previous, but it's better. It's the best one.
It may not have been that hard to perfect, or at least make better from what we have seen originally with Andrew Garfield and with Tobey Maguire, but this movie had me entertained from beginning to end. This Spider-Man is fucking funny.
It's up there because I thought Garfield was funny. I thought he was a good
funny was
Spider-Man.
Very witty.
Yeah,
but this guy for some reason adds the wit with kind of like the high school. Andrew Garfield was witty and funny.
Now going back and watching it, he doesn't look like a high schooler. Like
who, Andrew Garfield?
Yeah, he's way out of place. You know, he looks older.
That's what I'm saying. Like Tom Holland, he's from the beginning when he's doing his little fucking YouTube video blogs or whatnot, he's doing YouTube video blogs, right?
He's a kid,
and he does kid things. He talks like a kid. He's never driven a car.
His enthusiasm is that of a teenager.
Yeah, of an unshaded individual.
Yeah.
Now the action here is second to none.
It's better than Spider-Man 2.
And one thing that Spider-Man Homecoming does very well that I kind of critiqued other Marvel movies in the past is I've never really liked the villains of the Marvel universe, excluding Loki.
I've had a couple.
But like you talk Thor, Thor really never had a. Thor 2 is Loki, but Loki's the only one that I feel has landed as worthy, like a good villain, right? But Michael Keaton,
he's the second best villain, if not the best one.
He is the best villain in the Marvel universe. In my opinion, I'm just gonna say that right off the bat. His presence when he gets mad, I bought every second of when he was mad.
I had flashbacks to Birdman.
Really? Yeah, okay, I can see that.
When I watched Birdman, you saw him go through remember like when he was rehearsing the scene, right? When he would go through those emotional swings of that piece, it was sort of similar. It reminded me of that. So,
now, Michael Keaton is able to. There was a couple scenes that I was just the hairs were standing up slightly. One of the scenes that I kind of like was when he was driving. Well, we'll get to that a little later. But what did you think of just overall Michael Keaton?
He was interesting because he started off obviously with good intentions, right? He was the owner of a contractor of a scrap company that was cleaning up the aftermath of the first Avengers movie. Yeah, which was cool. Which is how he got his hands on tech that allowed him to make the stuff that he did. But that switch from I'm doing good to let's change it up because everything's changing and you can't always be a good guy. I loved it. I thought that he was a formidable foe for Peter Parker. I've never felt that Peter in any of the previous iterations has faced someone who was just equally matching him.
Sure. And the one thing I like about Michael Keaton's character, the Vulture character, is I bought the switch on why he is the Vulture. Because he got
screwed over really bad.
He really does get screwed over. And, I can't really I don't have a family per se, like a wife and kid and all that stuff. But if I did have a wife, dude, I would damn near do anything that I could to make sure that they're financially taken care of. Because he made it seem like he put all of his eggs in that
all
basket,
of his eggs.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get that sense.
So I thought the motivation for him switching was pretty damn believable.
Yeah, it was valid. I sympathize with him, but at the same time, he's obviously doing something that
illegal.
It's just super fucking illegal. Yeah. He's taking all the alien tech. It sort of reminds me of, like, I think the second Iron Man movie where he's having the conversation about how now that he's out there's going to be copycats. Well, this is, one of the results of that. Obviously, all these changes that have come about from the MCU.
The one thing that the one character that was in Michael Keaton's group, the Vulture's group, it was so funny that we were talking about it. About this movie going into the theater, like on the drive there, and I was talking to you about one of the characters that I wish I have seen, or they could have at least showcased a little bit, is Shocker.
Yeah,
and I was talking about Shocker before I even seen this movie. Shocker's in this goddamn movie, although I preferred the first one.
See, and that's the thing about this one is he's not the kind of Shocker that you'd expect when you hear the name, if you know the character. I was expecting full costume, the mask, the double gauntlets, but this one had like an homage to it because the first guy had the jacket with the quilted pattern, yellow quilted pattern, and the brown burgundy sort of colored vest part. And then he gets vaporized.
Yeah, he gets killed.
Yeah, he gets killed. And then the other guy takes over, and he sort of has like a mimicking, sort of like a similar pattern with a jacket for him later on.
See, I was completely, with the first Shocker, the first member that called himself the Shocker, I actually liked his look more than the second one.
I did too, but I mean, obviously it's just the legacy of the Shocker.
Yeah, and I didn't mind it either because I just thought, okay, well, this is like the pre-Shocker before they've officially been recognized as the Shocker. Right, so I understand the homemade jacket or kind of, the not as high quality outfit.
I mean, this could be the beginning of the Shocker that we know.
I mean, look at Spider-Man's fucking look.
I know, his suit, yeah.
He's in a sweatshirt. Right. I mean...
I like that suit, by the way.
So I really wish they could have kept the first Shocker because also the guy that was playing the first Shocker he was in Prometheus.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He was Shaw's husband, the guy that got all possessed by that thing. Yeah. But I really enjoyed that actor more than the second actor that was playing Shocker. Now let's just talk Tom Holland for a second.
Okay.
Just what do you rate him as far as like Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield?
He's like, I want to say he's like a mix of both, and then the best of it because, first of all, he has Tobey Maguire's height, right? He's maybe a little shorter.
He's short. You can tell he's short.
He's just visually, he's the best form of Spider-Man because he represents him almost to the T. His cadence, the way he conducts himself, he's shy, but yet he's smart, he's intelligent, he's got these good things about him that ultimately help him in this story, at least, I think. But I really liked that he portrayed him to what I would imagine a Peter Parker to be.
Yeah, the thing that the reason why I personally hold Tom Holland as the best Spider-Man, to be honest with you, it could have been Andrew Garfield for me as the best Spider-Man, but I think for my taste, he was a little too emo. A little too much of a pussy in the Amazing Spider-Man series. But Tom Holland was, every single time he would be on, for the most part, I either was entertained, I was smiling, or I was just laughing at the relationship that he had with his fat friend.
I like that relationship a lot. I thought that at first I was a little annoyed by him, but then, really? I mean, that's just a little bit. But I mean, we've all been that friend or had that friend. Well, not all of us.
They had perfect timing.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate with that friendship. Like, hey, let's go build this, let's go do that, let's go watch this. So I liked him. I liked the fact that he had someone who knew his secret right from the get-go, at least from the movie.
And he acted like a friend would. Like, right. Dude, Leo, if you're fucking Spider-Man, dude, I'd be asking you fucking questions like no one's business.
Yes, I mean, I like that part of it because he was our insight into what would it be like to be Spider-Man's confidant.
He was asking all the questions. How far does your web shoot?
I would do that.
Have you ever done this? And I'm like, dude, as I'm asking myself these things, like if I'm putting myself in his friend's shoes, he's asking the questions that I would personally ask.
Hey, should we tell somebody?
You're not Spider-Man, are you?
Yeah. No.
Nah,
not me.
you sure wait?
Maybe.
But their chemistry was really, really, really good.
I like that, yeah.
And the timing of their jokes, or the timing of their reactions that got people to react to with laughter was pretty much dead on. When he found out how Peter Parker was Spider-Man, you see it in the trailer, right? He's hanging in the ceiling.
It's pretty hard.
But the friend's look was spot on.
Like, oh my God, you're Spider-Man.
I mean, it just cuts away, and there's a perfect amount of silence just so you could absorb, like, the friend just, like, completely, like, shocked and, like...
Yeah.
Oh, it was so perfect. So perfect.
It was a good reveal.
And you know what? Going in, I thought Tony Stark... Moving on to like a little bit of Iron Man, I thought he might be he would steal the show.
I thought so too,
but he really didn't. He appeared maybe 3 times, maybe.
I mean, he definitely had like the backbone of the movie, yeah, because essentially he picked Peter Parker to be this sort of a protege. I'm not sure maybe necessarily for him, but just a protege to usher in someone of his own choosing into the Avengers.
Sure. And speaking of...
With his mindset, if you will.
Spider-Man's outfit was very unique in the sense that, unlike the other Spider-Man outfits that really didn't have any type of ability, right? They would just look cool. They had the web spitters and all that stuff. But this outfit kind of added a little more of a twist to it. It kind of had like Spider-Man's taste with like Tony's innovation.
It had tech on it.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And a thing that I talked about is I think there's an absence of the spider sense in this movie. So I feel like the suit sort of acts as his spider sense. Because, I mean, in the original Civil War storyline, the comics, Tony gave him the Iron Spider suit, and he learned his spider sense capabilities, and so he created his own artificial spider sense.
He has instant kill modes,
right?
Like over 500 combinations of web of shooting. Whether it's web grenades,
which is pretty cool.
taser web,
spider web.
Yeah, like all the whole gamut.
Bouncing web.
He has exactly. Like, so there was a lot of stuff that I'm pretty sure they're going to utilize in the Avengers.
He had the glider wings.
Yeah, the wings,
which are cool.
He had like I already said instant
drone.
Death. A little drone here. He had a homing device.
The tracker.
His suit could like self heat up in case he's like ever cold. He has like all these gadgets to it, and I just thought that was pretty unique. I am looking forward to what the new suit has in store.
Ooh, that was
He
nice.
hasn't worn it yet. But I'm
they show it
sure
at the end of the movie, which is cool because I would say I was aware of the spider suit that he has in Civil War, the Iron Spider, and a lot of people I know have waited to see that suit in that movie, but obviously they didn't have it. So this might be the Iron Spider suit. I'm assuming it is.
It's a nice little... Hey, to be continued.
Right.
You will see him rock this suit out. Right.
Next movie for sure.
Yeah, next movie for sure. Yeah. Whether it's Spider-Man: Homecoming 2 or something.
It's gonna be Infinity
War.
Infinity War. It's gotta
be. Now, as far as were there any negatives here that you just you've seen it twice? I mean, I picked up on one thing that I think could have been a little bit better. Well, my nitpick was I slightly touched upon it already, and that is I did not like the shocker switch. I wanted one shocker, and that be it. I really, really wish they didn't vaporize him. The first one.
I mean, it was an accident.
Was it really though? I mean,
no,
but sure. I really, really wish they would have stood by that. At least.
Yeah, he was a good shocker. I mean, I was sort of a little upset as well when they killed him off because I liked his attitude. I liked how he portrayed that character. And I liked the Shocker in that form. The other one was a little too laid back for my taste. He didn't seem like he really cared as much as the other one. The other one seemed more aggressive, and I thought
more
that was
cynical.
More cynical. Yeah, it was almost like he had bad intentions as the Shocker, which I liked.
What I wanted to happen was I wanted him to like have a disagreement with Michael Keaton's Vulture, and then have him
do his thing.
Yeah, have
which
him
he could
do his own thing.
He was left behind on the school bus.
Yeah, like have him do his own thing, and then maybe save him for like a future Spider-Man movie. I mean, he knocked the hell out of Spider-Man to begin with when he first met.
You know what was cool about this Spider-Man, and we've never really seen before, is although maybe like a Doc Ock or even a Lizard who could overpower him physically, this Spider-Man seemed to actually deal with things like the guns, the anti-gravity gun, things that he couldn't actually handle. The tech was actually one of his weaknesses, because he was held up with that anti-gravity gun. I mean, he had to use his webs to sort of fight his way around the issue, if you will. But there was a lot of things that could actually beat him. Like, he was pretty limited. He was maybe clearly too new to the game, where he didn't know his weaknesses, but he was, he was outsmarted a couple times.
Oh, for sure.
I thought that was pretty cool.
For sure. And Michael Keaton's Vulture was a very formidable villain.
Yeah.
Okay, he could have killed Spider-Man to begin with if Tony Stark didn't save his ass to begin with. In the fucking
he was
water.
gonna drown for sure.
He was drowned. He was done.
Gonna drown. Yeah. If it wasn't for that suit, then yeah, he would have drowned.
And I really do hope that Michael Keaton returns in a future installment. Maybe I don't know.
He's gonna look. I mean, the end credit scene. I got a couple of friends on the outside. It sounds to me like they're gonna assemble a Sinister Six type of a thing.
So here's the thing. Here's another negative that I had. Mm-hmm. I thought the end credit scene. There's two, by the way. I thought the end credit scenes were weak.
They were weak. I agree with that.
And so I wanted them to give me just something more. When the dude with the first end credit scene that happened, I was just like, who the hell is that guy? What's his? Is he important here? Like, is he just another inmate? Like, what's going on? I may have... The answer could be so obvious that I'm just completely missing it right now. Mm-hmm. But I just, at first glance, I didn't know who the fuck that guy was. Did you?
No.
Like, he just has a scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
He has a scorpion on his neck, okay?
Which guy?
The guy in the end credit scene.
Oh,
he had a scorpion in his neck.
Yes!
Okay?
You know what? Yes, you're right.
So, I'm just thinking...
Oh, you know who the friend could be is Osborn.
Really?
Norman Osborn.
You think so?
I think so. Norman Osborn, he dabbles in the dark side, like he does bad things.
I don't know.
Okay, maybe. Okay, here's a little like Easter egg. I mean, there's a bunch of Easter eggs in this movie, but something I found Osborn related is, if you remember the old Spider-Man cartoons from like the 90s. Okay, do you remember there was a vehicle that was made by this guy Fisk or something? No, not Fisk. Anyway, it's called the Spider Slayer. Do you remember that giant, like...
I don't remember that.
It was like this giant, like, robot spider thing. The little spider drone reminded me of that. It had the big old butt, and it had the jets on the legs, and so it would fly around. Well...
I cannot recall that.
So, no, but I think... Now thinking about it, I think that guy could be the Scorpion, and they could be talking to Osborn, because Osborn, or Oscorp, is what gives him the Scorpion powers. I think
plus
his arm was broken.
I think it is the fucking Scorpion. Now as I'm just thinking about it,
I didn't think about that tattoo.
Like how the tattoo. Clearly it's a Scorpion here. Right. He clearly is the Scorpion.
Right. They just showed you the next villain.
Yeah.
And a team up, a possible team.
Possible team up. Possible.
Right.
Now there's a couple good twists here. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the first twist that was like, I don't know if it got you the first time you watched it, but when I just watched it. Peter Parker likes this girl named Liz. Okay?
They don't tell you her last name.
They don't tell you her last name. But the entire time, it shows their interactions and their relationship or lack thereof, or just their friendship, I guess. And, dude, Michael Keaton's the father.
Yeah, that's a big reveal.
I mean, everyone... I don't know if you noticed,
there was a lot of gasps.
Right? Yeah. Like, in the audience, everyone was like, oh, man.
And you could tell that it took a while for it to, like, dissipate. A lot of people were still shocked for moments after. Because it's just that much of a twist. Like, he's going to go to prom or homecoming with the daughter of the Vulture.
And now it ups
and he doesn't know.
It ups the stakes. Yeah, the Vulture. Michael Keaton does not know Peter Parker,
which was pretty cool because you think he knows the way he's acting. With a knife. Looks like something's wrong with their eyes there, and he seems very menacing, but he's being a dad at that moment.
Yeah, I think he's being a dad.
Yeah, so which is cool, all defensive, which is nice. Yeah. But yeah, and then when he finally, they're in the car, and Liz tells him that
all the hints.
Yeah, all the hints, like, he was in DC, and he's
you always disappear.
Yeah, and he's Spider-Man's best friend. You weren't at the party, like you left after 2
Tony
seconds.
Stark's an internship. Right. It's like, and it's like you just see all the wheels turning in Michael Keaton's head, like, oh, you motherfucker.
And as you're listening to it and you think about it yourself, you're like, oh my god, that's like so obvious.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you can't miss that.
Yeah, and especially as someone as intelligent as the Vulture.
Right.
He's not a dumb villain, right?
Which is cool, because he's not in the comics either. He's supposed to be this mastermind, too.
So, I mean, which brings me up to, like, one of the scenes I really did like is they park in front of the school, the high school, and they're like, "Hey, why don't you give us a moment? I'm gonna have the dad talk with Peter Parker." And dude, that talk was like,
was a good talk. He pulls out the gun.
God. He pulls out a gun. Yeah. He turns around and he's talking to Peter Parker, kind of in code.
Right.
Well, not really in code. He's pretty blunt. He's pretty straightforward. Right. Like, hey. Don't fuck my shit up.
Yeah, leave me alone. Yeah.
In so many words, it's like, I know who the fuck you are. Don't fuck my shit up.
And the fact that he saved the daughter once, or on the DC incident, he was like, you know what? Because of that, I'm gonna let you get away with this one if you just walk away.
He doesn't though. But that was that
interaction. He knew Peter Parker wasn't gonna walk away from it either.
And that interaction though, dude, that's something like Michael Keaton pulled off so nicely.
That's one of the strengths. Those confrontational scenes.
Yeah. And so the second surprise that I was kind of taken back by, but I wasn't so shocked about, was the MJ reveal.
Yeah, Zendaya being actually MJ, because her name's Michelle throughout the movie, but at the very end she says, "Call me MJ." My friends.
And I'm just thinking, do you think she's gonna be the official MJ? I mean, why else would you say that?
I don't know yet, because look, this iteration of Spider-Man is supposed to last and usher us into Phase 4. Okay, he's supposed to be one of the big centerpieces of Phase 4. So, thinking like that, they could still in another movie set up Gwen Stacy and do a 2-movie arc, sort of what they did with Amazing Spider-Man, and then kill her off, and then have that romance blossom in the 4th movie or so. Because I've heard that Gwen Stacy and MJ and Peter were all friends in the comics before the death of Gwen Stacy.
I'm gonna go rogue on this one, dude. Okay. I'm gonna say I hope that I'm bringing Gwen Stacy, and the redheaded Mary Jane. I don't want to see that shit anymore.
You're right. I really personally don't care if she is MJ.
Let's continue with this MJ.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
I liked how she had an attitude. Like, she wasn't your typical dream girl. She was sort of like an outcast herself.
She was pretty hot. I mean,
I think she's attractive, but she wasn't like she wasn't in with the popular crowd.
Sure,
which is a change. I mean, she's still attractive, but she's not in with the popular crowd. In fact, she doesn't care. She walks to her own rhythm or her own beat, whatever.
Which is what I like, though.
Yeah, that's what I liked about this one too, and the fact that you could see there is an interest in Peter. Because there were several moments when she sort of seemed like she was following Peter throughout, like, the movie.
Sure.
She was in tension for some weird reason when she didn't have it, She's like, I like to draw people in crisis. Like, she didn't have to be there.
She was a very, very weird, but very memorable in a good way kind of character.
Yeah.
So with that, that's why I really want them to just stay with that. Have her be the new MJ. Fuck it. I don't care what the fucking comic nerds say.
Having Gwen Stacy arc still present in the next coming movies.
Nah.
I want it.
Rating time. Oh man, this is tough. So the good, your bad, and your rating.
I'm still having a hard time finding something bad.
It is pretty hard.
I mean, if there was bad, like, there was a couple of lulls in the movie, right? I didn't mind that. Like, when he loses his suit and he's having to talk with May. And, he starts finally showing up. It sort of was a flashback to Spider-Man 2. Because in Spider-Man 2, if you remember, like, he loses his powers. And so once he loses his powers, he's able to finally take care of all the other areas of his life that he's neglected. So in that sense, it was sort of mimicking each other. But other than that little section of the movie, it was pretty. The pace was pretty quick for me, so I didn't really see anything bad. But positives, it's just endless positives. I mean, first of all, I like the idea of the suit being really close to the original. The eyes, the big slits, almost a cat eye sort of the tips. And
the spider being small on his chest.
Yeah. The fact that he's got tech on it, like it's an update, you know? The Vulture was a cool villain. We've never seen that. The Shocker. This movie's just a solid A.
I'm gonna share that sentiment.
Only because I'm allowing room for me to over time just be like, okay, it wasn't as good as I thought. I like all the other Spider-Man movies, so do
I. Except for Spider-Man 3.
It's almost like, and I like Spider-Man 3.
It's definitely the weaker one.
It is the weaker one, but I enjoy all of them. I'll watch them all equally, and so I appreciate this one because it actually improved on all the previous ones. So
for me, it's like Tom Holland knocked it out of the ballpark. The humor was off the charts.
Yeah.
The relationship with he and his best friends were second to none. The Michael Keaton's character actually made the movie that much more great. It just as much as I'm holding Mr. Holland's up to like a high, it's the same thing with Michael Keaton. He's like way up here. He's such a wonderful actor. The character Vulture was menacing, smart, not a dumb one, and he was actually, I bought the threat. He really did lay into Spider-Man, and in some ways, and sometimes would beat him. I did like the whole setup in the beginning of the movie where it lets you know a little bit of Vulture's backstory, revolving why he turned to the Vulture and whatnot. This movie would actually be straight out an A+, if it wasn't for the Shocker thing and if it wasn't for the weak end credits. The end credits are not in my opinion, worth staying over, especially the second one. You were completely right on the second.
Second is credit. Like you can wait.
Yeah, the second one is just literally Captain America showing up and telling you, thanks for waiting.
Right, you didn't wait. You waited for nothing.
You waited for nothing.
It's actually supposed to. I mean, I can see it like an homage to also to Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Sure.
Because they showed the chase scene where he's running through the yards, and they compared it because they showed the movie in the background. So it's sort of like that.
So with that, I'm also going to share Leo's grade. It's a solid A all around. Blu-ray buy, 4K buy. I hope it's a 4K buy because Marvel movies are like non-4K excluding the Sony ones.
Well, they're probably waiting for that.
So we'll see. Anyways, guys, if you like this
I just wanted to talk. Sorry, I wanted to talk about the Easter eggs. There's a couple nice Easter eggs. Ultron's head coming out of the bag.
Ultron's head, yeah.
Kind one, and this is sort of what I want to talk about, is Donald Glover's character. His name's Aaron Davis. He's supposed to be the uncle of Miles Morales, who he kind of references.
That's unclear.
Okay,
that's unclear.
It is unclear, but the thing is, you hear the fact that he's scheduled to be in 5 movies, and usher in Phase 4. So I mean, think about like another 10 years of Marvel movies coming out.
Will Miles Morales make an appearance in the future Spider-Man movies?
That's exciting to think about, like him taking over.
I think so. I think he will eventually show up. But as far as him being like the uncle, I don't know. That thing was like so vague. It was like, yeah, I have a nephew that lives in Queens. I mean, sure, you can make that connection, right? You can make that connection.
Actual verbatim.
Okay. But until it's verified, I can't go with it. But with that out of the way, guys, if you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. And we will be back for the War of the Planet of the Apes next weekend. See you there. Bye.